What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Big Fry, and I want to give you guys 5 tips to navigate your way around the Firefight game mode in Insurgency Sandstorm. Firefight is a game mode that is very intricate in its design when you have 2 teams that really know how to play the game mode. It's comprised of 3 points spread across a map. Each player has 1 life until a teammate or yourself captures one of the points on the map, thus bringing a spawn wave back, and your team is now sitting with a full team of 5 players. In competitive games, it is a 5v5 game mode. In public matches, you could be looking at a 10v10, a 12v12, whatever the server is set to. You can win the game in 3 ways: by capturing every single point on the map, or by killing every single player on the opposing team before they can bring in a spawn wave, or at the end of the round if you control a majority of the 3 points. So if you hold 2 points and the time runs out of the round, you and your team are the winners. A lot of people ask me how to play better. I am ranked in the diamond rating on the competitive ladder, and we stream all the time with a competitive group of 5 players. And people ask us, how do we get better at the game? How do we play at this level? The first tip that I always tell everybody is start to work on your map knowledge. Start to understand what routes lead to where, understand the map design at its core, how fast teammates and enemies can get to certain points based on their spawn waves. Start to understand the flow of the game and the flow of each map. If you've bought into the game right now, there are 6 maps in the game, so it's not as overwhelming to learn the entire library of maps that this game could potentially hold in the future. Know the maps. Understand where the objectives are on the map. Understand the cap zones for those objectives. Some of them are very tight and limited. Some of them are pretty open, so you'd have to be looking around if you end up in a stalemate and you're trying to kill the other enemy. There's a lot of areas to potentially hide, which leads me into the second tip, and that's play the fucking objective. PTFO. It's a staple of Insurgency on the Source engine and now in Sandstorm. There are cap radiuses of each objective. Know where they are, and don't be afraid to get into the thick of it and step on the point, which would then alert the enemy team that, hey, there's somebody here. Blocking respawn waves in Firefight is one of the most important things that you can do. Kills, NWI did such a good job at making the ragdoll physics and the blood sprays and all that so great for the kills. But when it comes down to it, all of your points, if you're looking to get a high scoring game, are going to come from objective captures and killing enemies on objectives. If I kill an enemy just out in the middle of nowhere, it's worth 10 points. And you can get that by sitting on the objective for a second. And then killing an enemy is worth even more than that when you're on the point. Play the fucking objective. A lot of people I see pussyfooting around trying to get angles and picks while leaving that objective completely open for the enemy to take. It doesn't make sense, and it would be in your team's best interest for you to stop being a pussy and get on the point. I see a lot of people running loadouts with little utility, using frag grenades and kind of ignoring the smokes, the flashes, and the molotovs. In other FPSs, using smoke grenades is most likely a waste of time. Obviously, it depends what game mode you're playing, but in Firefight and in certain maps in this game, using smoke grenades are absolutely crucial to advance positions. If you're playing a map like Farmhouse and you have those roaming hills where snipers are just aiming basically right across the map, you need smoke grenades and you need the utility to allow your team to get into an advantageous position. Don't be afraid of the molotovs and the smokes. Don't think that just because you're going to use them doesn't mean you're giving up kills using the frag grenade. Remember, kills aren't the most important thing. Capturing objectives, knowing the map, and gaining control of that map through the positions of yourself and your teammates are the most important things that you need to focus on. Speaking of teammates, the 4th tip for this video: when you're playing in public matches, communication isn't necessarily key when it comes to communicating and getting teammates to do certain things. The public microphones are basically just trolly and cancerous and toxic. When you're in competitive, on the other hand, it is almost a necessity. When I play competitive, and this is my 4th tip for this video, when you play competitive and you have a team that's willing to use the microphone, call out your kills. If you're on the B point and you kill an enemy, hit that mic key and let people know that you have killed somebody over at B. That lets people know two things: that there's one less person on their team to be a danger or a threat, and another is that they know that you are now covering that point. So if I'm on A and I kill somebody, I'll go on the mic and go, yeah, -1A. That lets people know that I'm at the A point, I've killed somebody, and we are now facing potentially 4 enemies. When it comes down to it, have somebody on your team who is good at keeping a count so you guys can know what kind of threat level you're looking at going into a potential capture point. If I know that there's one person left, then we know that they're only going to be covering the most significant angle, which then refers back to the map knowledge. Once you play enough, you're going to start to understand these things, and keeping a count of the enemy's deaths is the most important thing to do over the mic. We don't have kill feeds, and we have no way of telling how many people are alive unless you are using communication to do so. And to end this video on the last tip, none of this stuff matters if you can't shoot for shit. So get yourself acquainted with a gun that you enjoy using, figure out the loadout, and figure out the role that you're going to play for your team. Are you somebody who's going to be running heavy armor, ammo carriers, extra utility, and going in and just being a little bit slower to get to points, but still have that utility to give cover? Are you going to be somebody like me who runs no armor, no carrier, a very lightweight build, gun in hand, couple of attachments, a grenade, and that's that? I literally only have the AKM on Insurgents or the M4 for security. I throw a couple of attachments on there, specifically like either a red dot or an OKP, maybe a foregrip, maybe a compensator, and then I have a frag grenade or a utility grenade depending on how quick they are to get to the points. I don't carry a secondary. I only walk in with 3 magazines, and that's my job. My job is to be a frontline soldier, killing and trying to take down as many people as I can with the ammo that I have, which then allows my team to go in and capture the objective, if not me going into the front and capturing the objective as well. I am a frontline runner. That is what my role is, and I play it very well. Find your role, find your weapon, and find your style, and get acquainted to it. Take the skill that you learn in public and take it into competitive. If you are not good with the shotguns and you are in a competitive setting, don't fucking take it, because all you were doing is wasting the time of the other people that you're queuing with. If you are good with a weapon, use it. Don't feel the need to jump around and try everything in a competitive setting. That's what public matches are for, where people are testing their skills, getting warmed up, and just playing around with all the different weapons. Find your role and do it well. And those are my 5 tips for Firefight. There's a lot more I could go into. I want to turn this into a series where I cover different maps, different positions on each maps, different strategies you can run as a 5-man squad. I want to get into the tips and tricks because I have a lot of people asking me how we play and how we do so well. Usually, if we're streaming for about 3 or 4 hours a night, we're only losing maybe 1 or 2 games. So these are definitely tried and true. These are the most important things that I find new players need to start to learn to get into Firefight and Insurgency Sandstorm. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, make sure you guys leave a comment down below and like the video on YouTube. That shares the content, and we can also have a good conversation about it. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.